Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here. Welcome back to the pasthisprime YouTube channel. Welcome back to Lone Echo 2, where we just did something in here. Got a little drone. Just watching out for those little critters. I think we're done here. Okay, I mean, we're still looking for things to scan. I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many things to scan here, it's ridiculous. I think we're done in this spot, maybe? I don't know, we'll have to check our missions at some point. I mean, you know, look, there's things flashing everywhere. It's like trying to find, I was going to say needle in a haystack, but it's not really. I mean, like, they're clearly everywhere. It's just getting to them, they're so far away. And I mean, how much do you do before you go insane and go, come on, that's enough? Go check out these ones over here. Are they on? If they are. It's hard to see. But that's not done. That's not done. So at least do those two. We'll do what we can, but we might have a look at some of our story tasks.
Scanning archive. Experimental maneuvering thruster optimization found. Not quite enough data to fully replicate it, though.
Thanks. I mean, the thruster thing's what we want. That one's turned off. All right. That. There's one right there for a start.
Juno, what is the state of Titan?
How do you mean? The weather?
No, Juno. He's asking if anyone's still living there. Our old supervisor was stationed on that moon.
Given the passage of time, I am certain that your boss has long since expired.
Yes, obviously. We know how aging works. But is there still a colony? Has it been fully terraformed? My father helped start that process.
After the Atlas Corporation dissolved in 22...
The answer is no, Captain. No colony, no terraforming. The biomass saw to that.
Right.
Okay.
Dock online. The archives in this unit have been added to the dataset as well.
Just gonna have a look at that. Where's the trigger? Hang on. Where's the habitat? There we go.
Is Habitat B reachable?
I'm afraid not. It's completely severed from the rest of the facility and beyond the signal range of the systems that currently allow you to reboot.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not worth that risk. We can just let this one rest in peace.
Alright, I guess so. Okay, we'll go get this one here. And we'll go back to that one there. Oh, and we'll get that one up there. Oh god.
This tram rail appears to have suffered a significant kinetic impact and/or shearing force.
The Estrella. When it arrived, it ejected debris into the surrounding area, much of which impacted here. It severed this tram line and pushed Habitat B out of its standard orbit.
Though, at this point, it's for the best. Almost the entire habitat has been consumed by the biomass.
Verifying. This drone was also being tested with maneuvering thruster optimizations. Keep searching for more when you can, Jack.
Acknowledged. Earth still appears blue from this distance. The blight of the biomass is nowhere in evidence.
You think we'll ever be able to go back? Not just me, but humanity.
In my limited experience, I have found human beings to be discerning, resourceful, and, above all, exceedingly stubborn. Based on those factors alone, I would estimate the odds of humanity's return to be more than favorable.
We ought to put you in charge of morale.
Yeah. Because I'm quite the joker.
Archive recovered. Experimental optimizations present. I'll need more data, though.
Copy that.
God's sakes. You and your more data? You're greedy. How much goddamn data do you need? But I ain't gonna do this one, and we're gonna have a look and see if we can find some story to do.
Data recovered. Network status. Connected. We're making good progress, Jack.
Well, I'm glad you think so. Because it doesn't feel like it to me. Okay. Here's that. It's over there. It's that. Hello, wind? I can't track it. Let's see. Is that? Oh, that's over there. Is everything over there? Okay, everything seems to be over that direction. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. Will that take off, or is that stationary? Well, there's two of them there. It's a robot.
Maneuvering thruster data retrieved. Not quite enough to reverse engineer the concept, but a good find nonetheless.
Must have already scanned that one. You never said a thing.
Liv, are you feeling well? Given your infection, I wanted to make sure.
Thanks, Jack. Honestly, I feel fine physically.
And mentally.
I'm fine there too, Dr. Jack. I mean, don't get me wrong. The state of this future is not great. But we've got a plan to fix it. And I've got work to keep me busy.
Okay.
Soldiering on, you know?
Indeed. You'll let me know if your condition changes.
Of course.
Alright, maybe we'll shoot over there, because it seems to be everything's over there. Let's see if we can do anything over there. So how do we... Can I just fly through there? Did Did I look at this before? I don't think I did. Because I would have noticed that, being that open.
The facility appears to be in fairly poor condition, but there is at least some power flowing.
Due to the generator being restored.
Unfortunately, I'm still unable to access any systems further into the facility. Power flow stops at the entry terminal. It appears that the systems are outright disconnected, including the physical entry bridge. Jack, you'll need to reconnect those systems to gain entry to the facility.
Copy that. There's a room jutting into this cave. Could it be part of the biomass containment area?
Negative. The room you're seeing is part of the facility's integrity monitoring system, responsible for tracking any changes in the asteroid structure during excavation. For safety reasons, biomass containment is located much deeper in the facility.
Good to know.
Somewhat odd to leave this case empty.
It's fairly straightforward. Our work was never finished.
This device looks vaguely similar to the cranes we saw in the transit hub.
Good eye, Jack. That's because it's an early version of the stasis field technology used by those cranes, as well as our cargo drones and many other systems. As you can imagine, the ability to manipulate objects without direct contact has significant advantages when dealing with the biomass.
Yes. Advantages we continue to witness firsthand through Jack's grip projector.
Agreed. This appears to be some sort of focusing device. I haven't seen anything like it elsewhere on Chiron Station.
It's actually a prototype of the technology our containment units use to keep Dix pacified.
As in the technology that shorted out while Jack and I were trapped in the engineering bay.
Yes, though that was due to the power cycling abnormally. I assure you, it's usually quite stable.
Yeah, one would hope.
Okay, what's this one?
A scale model of the FTL drive on Dr. Harlan's ship. Was the drive developed here?
Not exactly. While the few FTL drives still in service were refitted here, the original design was actually reverse engineered from the FTL drives left behind aboard the Estrella. That was done by your former employer, in fact.
Wait, Atlas built them?
Indeed. Before the company dissolved, of course.
Effectively, 22nd century Atlas reverse engineered their own 26th century technology.
Huh. That sounds perfectly normal and not at all confusing.
I would expect nothing less from our employer, past, present, or otherwise.
It seems someone was emphatic about maintaining the lockdown.
That console would have controlled the bridge leading into the main facility.
I assumed.
I'm not seeing any backup controls in the blueprints, unfortunately. It's possible the cave contains systems not listed in the schematics. It may be worth a quick investigation.
Okay. Yep. Just threw myself a little bit extreme there with the movement. Ah, for God's sakes. Here we go, waiting. Alright, what are we looking for?
This bridge is currently disconnected as part of the lockdown procedures.
Correct. The doors won't open until both sides of the bridge are fully extended.
Did they get everyone out?
According to these logs...
No. Not everyone got out.
These are auxiliary controls for the extension bridges.
Correct, but they're currently inoperable. The power conduit extending from the entrance to the main facility has been retracted, likely an attempt to contain the biomass spread. To restore power to the extension mechanisms, you will need to re-engage the power conduit to cross the gap.
Understood. I will locate and re-engage the conduit.
Just keep in mind that you'll also be restoring power to the main research facility, including any dormant biomass within.
Re-establishing main generator connection. Be advised, Class 3 power fields will become active. Dormancy will be nullified.
Hey, Jack. I know you've got this as always, but by restoring power, we're undoing something that was put in place as a die-hard safety precaution.
We are certain this is the only place we're going to find the contained biomass?
Assuming these fragmented station logs are correct? Yes.
Well, that's reassuring.
It's a weird place to find a thing.
Finalizing connection.
Connection established. Now receiving power readings throughout the facility. Jack, once you
Okay.
have the bridge fully extended, you should be able to access the facility proper. Though I suspect some areas may have additional security requirements.
Nora, the research director, would have done everything she could to contain the outbreak. But there is no containing it. This was an eventuality.
It's fortunate that your disagreement over priorities led you to be elsewhere when the outbreak occurred.
It's only fortunate if I'm right.
Dr. Harlan, if these power readings are accurate, our suspicions appear confirmed.
What's that now? What suspicions?
Educated guess, rather.
Which is different how?
We were concerned that residual power currents may have allowed the biomass to continue spreading for some time after the lockdown.
Okay. And?
Webs have likely taken hold. Caution is advised, Jack.
Acknowledged.
All right.
I'm crossing into the main facility now.
Copy that, Jack.
Well, there's a shell, if we need it. All right.
Biomass has taken hold here.
Given that it got this far, the rest of the facility will likely be much worse.
Will the fabricator still be operational?
Yes, at least enough that Jack should be able to reboot without issue.
In the security control room, I found a casualty.
According to logs, Adler Reyes.
He must have been trying to keep the scanners running to prevent the biomass from leaving the facility.
But if someone found scan,
They would have had to remain behind. Unfortunately, even the scanning room itself became contaminated.
you think that's how it spread to the rest of the station?
Most likely. With background contamination, the system would have had a difficult time producing accurate results. Inevitably, it failed.
Jack, you are now entering the facility's lobby. Biomass containment is located through the leftmost door.
The door that has the web thing. Of course.
Another one of the web forms. I still have no way to bypass.
Then try the labs. The research they were doing there might prove useful.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find.
The labs. I mean, that's a medical wing. That's not a lab. All right, so we can't get past there either. Okay. All right, so it's going to put us in a bit of a solve the puzzle thing. Because we can't do that one. That's locked. There's another casualty.
We have another casualty in the lobby.
Dr. Brianna Levington.
She was one of our pathologists.
Electrical systems here are clearly suffering from extreme damage. The lobby's directory is effectively useless.
Good thing we've got someone who knows their way around.
Always happy to be of assistance, Captain.
I was actually talking about Dr. Harlan. But thanks.
Okay, this door's locked. I don't know. Well, let's ask
There's
the
some
question.
kind of added security here.
Dr. Everett Harlan reporting. Authorized laboratory access.
Voice-activated authorization.
Thank you.
That's a smart security feature.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
There's a switch embedded in the wall here.
An emergency disconnect. Likely utilized as a means to curtail the outbreak.
They really did all they could to try and get the infestation under control.
They knew once it was out, they couldn't stop it. All they could do was buy time for everyone else on the station.
Nothing this way. Okay, it's got to be lab test day, surely. I don't see anything that way.
What sort of research were they doing here?
The director was convinced a cure was impractical. So she poured everything into containment technology.
Did she have any luck?
When I left, she had everyone working on miniaturizing the insulation cloaking from our containment unit. I'm not sure how far they got.
Biological specimens.
The director was always in here. Dissecting, testing. She was tireless.
She must have had a cast iron stomach.
One of the toughest people I've ever known.
Right. Anything? Test against fossil records.
Is this a control interface?
That's right, for the robotic arm in the adjoining chamber. Use the holographic controls to adjust each part of the articulation.
Is this some type of emitter?
It looks to be a functional prototype. I knew they were close, but I didn't know they had moved into practical testing. The basic concept was to surround the biomass with a cloak of electromagnetic insulation, preventing energy from reaching it.
Kind of like using a blanket to smother a flame.
Indeed. The idea was to build these cloak emitters as a reactive defense against the biomass, to contain it.
That could have a wide array of tactical applications.
It's a store-led based, not a solution. I wish you could have seen that.
I wonder if they moved this prototype into production.
Even if they did, it clearly wasn't enough to stop an outbreak. This is why we need a cure.
Okay, not sure what to do with that. Let's go and look over this side first. Something's definitely different over here. Still look around first.
I assume these microscopes were used to observe the biomass?
I believe so, yes.
Development of the biomass containment technology required research at the macro, micro, and even nanoscopic scales.
With these microscopes, the researchers would have been able to observe the effect of their containment technology in real time, with a more manageable sample size, of course.
It must have been a heavy responsibility to work so closely with live biomass samples.
It was not without its risks.
So, would you say it was more or less risky than intentionally infecting your own FTL drive?
If you have any less precarious solutions, Captain, I'm all yes.
These controls are running some sort of automated procedure.
The system is no longer reachable over the network. Cut off by the biomass, no doubt. It must be an old test, abandoned during the outbreak and resumed now that we've restored power.
This transparent aluminum is reinforced.
Unfortunately, that's still not enough to withstand concerted biomass growth.
Okay, is that supposed to be a clue? I'm gonna shoot the thing. Is that the point? Don't know how that helps me though, because I can't bring those everywhere I go, can I? Okay, well. How do you... Oh, I can turn it.
Such versatile technology.
And it still wasn't enough.
Jack, the robotic arms in the test lab represent the cutting edge of the facility's research. They may be useful for navigating further into the facility.
Okay. Oh, I'm confused. You think I can shoot that one out there? What do you reckon?
Biomass at the exit neutralized.
It's possible I failed to foresee some of the cloaking it has eventual implications.
Sounds like your research director was on the right track.
Nora. She never gave up. I could hardly ever pull her away from her work.
Dr. Harlan, if I may interject, the local data I'm seeing implies that the director's efforts to develop cloak emitters proceeded beyond prototyping. Portable versions were installed in some of the X3 medtech shells. Several of these shells appear to have been left behind in the medical wing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I believe it may be possible to fit Jack with a similar device, a portable cloak emitter.
What is involved?
I'll need you to retrieve the data from one of the medtech shells here. With that, I should be able to reconstruct the portable cloak emitter's design.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find.
Okay.
Jack, this is the primary examination room, where prototype cures were administered to volunteers. Dr. Harlan, you'll be pleased to know that your old workplace remains unaffected by the outbreak. Dr. Harlan?
That's good to hear, Juno. Thanks.
This log indicates a multitude of visitors. Some were children.
Yes. Many of the station's personnel had families. Most of their children were suitably behaved. Some were not. Still, I hope they reached safety.
These medical beds were used for diagnostic scans?
And to monitor potential treatments. Many of my peers focused on post-diagnosis options.
What sort of options?
Pain management, transmission reduction. Though most patients with terminal diagnosis volunteered for cure research.
Wait. There are diagnoses that aren't terminal.
If the infection is limited to the extremities and has not yet penetrated the epidermis, amputation has a roughly 40% success rate.
In emergencies, the integrated cutter, equipped by several models of the X3 shell, including Jack's, can...
No. That's enough. Forget I asked.
Okay.
This toy appears to have been left behind.
Brendan Lyles. It has to be. That boy was always leaving his toys about. A habit he does not appear to have corrected in my absence. I am glad he made it out, though. Perhaps not being able to return for it this time has taught him a lesson.
It's more likely he has simply fabricated a new one.
Shush, Juno.
Okay, what's this say? Data tile. Ah, you little sneak. Okay, sort of stuck here.
A surprising amount of data. Some of it's irrelevant, but a fair bit could help our efforts on a cure. Thanks, Jack.
Of course.
Okay. Obviously not what I was looking for, though. What am I looking for? I thought this was the room. Because I can't get past that. Ah, here we go.
I'll need to manually open this door. I assume it was shut down as another precaution?
Most likely. If the medtech shells have data we can use to reconstruct a portable cloak emitter, it will be worth the risk.
Hey, stupid door.
I'm entering the medical lab.
Doctor, perhaps you should step away for a moment. I'm sure there's still plenty of output data to parse before we're ready to initiate the experiment.
She's here, isn't she? Juno.
More than likely. Yes.
Who? The research director?
I can handle it,
Are you certain?
I'm not looking away.
I found another casualty of the biomass. This researcher seems to have been helping the other one.
Dr. Adriana Lay.
She was too young for this.
I've recovered her research. It also seems she received a message from Dr. McKenna with all of his access codes attached. Would you like me to play it?
Affirmative.
Beginning playback.
Hey, Adriana. I know I can count on you to look out for everyone. So I'm sending you my access codes. They should get you into my stuff and a few engineering areas. My spare rations, my playing cards, whatever else. If any of it helps even a little bit, please, take it. Share it. I figure it might make things a little more comfortable for you all.
Trem, prepare for departure.
Shit, I gotta go. I have no idea how to end this. Good luck? No. Goodbye.
End of message. If any of Dr. McKenna's codes prove useful, I'll add them to your ARM computer.
Thank you. Who was this person?
Dr. Franklin Teller, a fellow geneticist.
You knew him?
I knew all of them.
Okay, nothing to say about that one. Right, there's a thing up there. Let's just check all this first.
We have another casualty.
It appears he was trying to assist right up until the end.
This device indeed appears to be a portable cloak emitter. Juno, I believe your conjecture was correct.
Naturally. If you scan the shell's data port, I believe I can create a similar device for you. Cloak emitter module identified. Unfortunately, the data contained in this shell is only partial. Jack, to complete the reconstruction, I'll need you to scan additional units.
Understood.
Okay. Right, we can't get through there. I think we have no choice but to go up that thing.
A keypad for the duct. Juno, could one of Dr. McKenna's codes work here?
I believe so, yes. Try 2525.
Access to the utility ducts granted. Moving through the vents now.
Tell me something, Doctor. How long does it take
What?
for the infection to run its course?
Once it becomes fully active, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 days. But most victims opt to expedite their end.
Right. So, how does the infection work? Once it becomes active? I mean,
The biomass drains energy directly from your cells. Your body is in the throes of widespread cellular decay. Major organ failure follows, 12 to 18 hours later. But at least by then you are not in as much pain, since the infection has likely started feeding on the electrical signals traveling through your nervous system. By day 4 you've...
Alright, I get the picture.
Perhaps we should shift focus back to the mission.
Jack, it's okay. I asked. I should know what I'm in for. Just maybe not all at once.
Excellent. That shell contained more data regarding the portable emitters. We'll need a good bit more to reconstruct the design, though.
Oh, this is getting really tight. Don't want to be claustrophobic in this game, that's for damn sure. You also don't want to be worried about open spaces with space. They like to test you everywhere. Okay. Aha.
Scan complete. We still need more data. Interesting. Doctor, this shell has a log conversation regarding the director and your research.
Go ahead, Juno.
Beginning playback.
Alright, Unit 5, back to the lab. The director wants to run those simulations again.
Query. For what purpose?
I'm not sure. Dr. Harlan's ideas were intriguing, to say the least, but, well, I suppose the director knows best. Go ahead and prep the simulations. I'll join you shortly.
Acknowledge, Dr. McKenna.
Huh. So the director eventually explored your theories after all?
I didn't expect she would continue it after I left. But without the biomasses-based genetic material, it would have been as much of a dead end as containment. I just couldn't convince her.
Okay, let's get out here. Okay. Assume we're on the... Are we on the underside? I hope we are. Otherwise I'm gonna look mighty silly. No, I can't. Oh, there's one.
My reconstruction of the personal cloak emitter is nearly complete. One more scan should be sufficient.
Patient chart reveals catastrophic cellular breakdown.
Most likely an internal infection that passed through the tissue.
Does that happen in every case?
Eventually, but the host is usually deceased by then.
Well, that's a relief.
In this patient chamber, a further casualty of the biomass.
Based on the logs, Dr. Chandra Miles.
She was one of the few who subscribed to my theories on a cure. I always appreciated her insight.
Alright, what are we missing here? We've got an arm here. Right, there, you gotta get in there, don't we? Let's check this drawer first. Alright, that is my guess, and it's a pretty good guess, I think. Okay. Man, that's hard to aim. Is this an automatic one?
controls for the nearby cloak emitter. Fortunately, they're still operational.
I don't think we need to go in. I think we just need to scan.
Data collection complete. Finalizing tool reconstruction. Reconstruction complete. Please visit a fabricator to install your new cloak emitter.
I found another casualty of the biomass.
Dr. Jordan Betchy. She specialized in pain management therapy for the infected.
Here we go.
Cloak emitter installation successful. This portable version is practically identical to the mounted prototypes you've been using thus far.
I found another arm equipped with a cloak emitter, a backup safety measure.
More than likely, but that's the problem. The biomass can't be contained, no matter how many redundancies you put in place.
Oh, so it's this one. Okay. Right, do we have to go back? Oh, we can go this way. Let's test it out.
Excellent. A tool like this will make it much easier to get around.
Just keep in mind that its effective range had to be reduced to achieve portability. If you move too far away from your target, the tool will deactivate.
Ah. Noted.
Alright, let's get the scanner on this arm for a sec, because what I want to do...
This data includes a message from the research director, addressed to you, Dr. Harlan.
Hey, Juno.
Perhaps I could store it for a later time once we...
Juno.
Of course, Doctor. Beginning playback.
Ready? I don't know if you'll ever find this, but I wanted to get it out before... Well, before things get any worse. If you do manage to find this, well, then you know what's happened. I suppose the good news is we got the emitter deck to work. Which, if I'm not mistaken, means you owe me dinner. Rabbit, listen to me. I know you're going to try to put all this on yourself somehow. Make yourself believe there was something you'd have done had you been here, but it's not true. You understand? Don't go trying to carry that. We all knew developing a cure was virtually impossible. No one here was waiting to be saved. You're leaving. You're already doing everything you could do to try and stop this. I miss you, Everett. Be safe. I love you. Goodbye.
I'm so sorry, Harlan.
It is difficult to comprehend exactly what you are experiencing, Doctor, but please accept my condolences as well.
She was a good person. She deserved a better resting place than this.
Okay. Right, we've done all that. Now... how do we get here in the first place? Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. It looks like we came this way, didn't we? So in theory, we can go this way now. Nice. Like that. Okay,
I'm
so
back in the lobby, proceeding to biomass containment.
that's right, that's where we've got to go.
There's another voice-activated control panel here.
Additional security for the biomass containment area. It requires the voice authorization of a high-ranking official.
Well, we've got Dr. Harlan, right? Let's get that door open.
My authorization won't be enough. We'll need someone with higher clearance.
The research director.
After a lockdown, she'd be the only one able to enter containment.
With a large enough sample of the director's vocal modulations, I should be able to synthesize her voice.
We've got a log of her final moments. That's not enough?
Unfortunately, no. And inaccurately synthesizing her voice could lock us out permanently. We'll need more vocal data.
Great.
You're kidding.
So, we're stuck then.
Pull up my personal archive, Juno. There's just one file there.
You're sure, Dr. Harlan?
Go on.
Beginning playback.
I'm not going to be able to change your mind, am I?
I just... You know I wouldn't leave unless I had to.
It's okay. A kill would change everything. No wrong about that. I just wish...
I know, Nora. Me too. I won't be long.
That should be enough for me to synthesize the director's voice.
Do it.
This is Dr. Nora Parikh. Authorized containment access.
Juno,
Yes, Doctor?
never do that again.
Okay, yay, we got the doors open.
I'm entering what appears to be an excavation site.
You are correct. It's the only remaining route to the biomass containment area. We should be able to find our sample there.
Acknowledged.
Is this containment area where the outbreak started?
Most likely. I'll continue parsing logs to see if I can determine what happened.
I'm sure that's not necessary.
Do it. I need to know.
Of course, Doctor.
I assume these barriers were set up while construction was taking place.
Correct. Data files show a series of tunnels extending beyond the barriers.
The scale of these excavations seems to far exceed our mining efforts back on the Kronos 2.
Absolutely. Though, this excavation was done to leverage the asteroid's bulk as a protective layer against the biomass. Any valuable mineral extractions were merely a byproduct.
See a show.
Does most of humanity have to live like this? Underground, so to speak.
For several generations now.
I'm sorry. We'll find a cure. We have to.
Were these excavators being used to expand the containment area?
I can't be certain, but given the advancements made in insulation cloaking technology, I imagine they would have been trying to ramp up testing or possibly even production. Undoubtedly, that would have required taking in more samples than the facility was currently equipped to contain.
Could that be what caused the accident?
Possibly. If the research team was indeed rushing to complete work on the cloaking tech, then it is possible certain containment systems were overtaxed.
I should have been here.
Then you'd be dead too. And so would we, probably.
I would still be here. For a while, at least.
Alright, we're going to call it there for this video. So, if you like what I'm doing and you want to support the channel a bit further, check the description below. There's a link. You can buy me a virtual coffee. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. I really appreciate the support and it helps the channel out immensely. Most importantly, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the game. Feel free to ask me questions, give me subtle hints, that sort of thing. Just don't give me story spoilers. Or talk about any other games or anything you like in the comments. I read all the comments and answer every comment that warrants an answer as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.